107.3 FM, and on our WRBL.com page and our radar app and news app that you go to live stream coverage. So we continue to look at these neighborhoods here again. Alabama Highway 50, State Highway 50, right into Kendall Crossroads that continues east to County Road 28 in Alabama. That whole area should be seeking shelter right in the middle immediately. It's north of County Road 11 now. If you're in New Harmony, and if you're in the Sturkey areas, you're fine. But we want to get you, we're getting north of that. It looks like there might be 2 areas of rotation, in fact, north of New Harmony around County Road 11. And it looks like there's even another bit of rotation, like 2 areas kind of spinning up there. So I'm not saying 2 tornadoes or anything, but there's potential of 2, one leading the other. And that's very common with this forward momentum system that we're looking at with the squall line spinning up this potential weak tornado. It's not very dynamic. We normally see it's pixelated because we're just not getting a good radar scan now, but it is certainly rotating nonetheless. That's what we're looking at here. So that's what we're looking at this time. So you can see where we're highlighting south of Kendall Crossroads. Meteorologist Cody Nichols catching us here. Those are the 2 that I'm looking at now that I think we just got to keep an eye out for. It is lifting north and east quite fast. So if you are in Lafayette, absolutely, I'm talking the west side of Lafayette, you should definitely be seeking shelter immediately. Even in downtown Lafayette, I would still consider a safe spot right now because this is lifting northeast and a little bit east. So it wouldn't surprise me, and that's why the polygon right now through the National Weather Service has it shifted in extreme northeast. Just because it's in the far east, there's a good chance that downtown Lafayette could maybe get a little piece of this. At least the western side of Lafayette is, and that's a very busy and populated community, and we know a lot of you are watching us right now. And again, we have a lot of interest up here, so we want to make sure you guys are safe. So if you are in Lafayette and Chambers County, seek shelter right now immediately as we speak. And again, you could see the area here that we're looking at seems to be kind of elongated. It looks like they're merging together. It's very common when you have a squall line. They have tornadoes that look like they're multiple forming, and one catches up with the other. So if they kind of combine together, there's definitely some good wind here, and this kind of wind damage along State Alabama Route 50 continues there. U.S. Highway 431 would also be in that where it intersects with State Route 50 in Alabama, Chambers County. And this is all, again, positioning it very close to Lafayette. So Lafayette residents right now, very heavily populated area. I would seek shelter. We're here with you to let you know until it passes safely. Again, it is tightening up. It looks like we got just one area of circulation, a little broad circulation off to the west there, but really this is the area we're looking at. Cody's going to go to the southwest corner and trajectory all the way to Martin Luther King Drive in downtown Lafayette. So if we could do that, we'll take it from County Road 9 all the way up with the cone, and we're looking at Lafayette downtown 345. So that's probably your most proper time right now. So it's 4:36 Eastern time, 3:36 local time. So 3:36, you're talking about less than 10 minutes. So if you're in Lafayette, in the Rollins area too, I want to make sure I put that in there as well. Lafayette and Rollins from 45 to 51 minutes after the hour local time. If you are in here, anybody in downtown, western side, southwest portions of Lafayette, seek shelter immediately. County Road 28, where it comes a little bit farther south around Alabama State Route 50, seek shelter immediately. It continues to lift north and east. So where County 94 runs right into downtown Lafayette, I would seek shelter immediately. That's the perimeter we're talking about. That's the cone we're looking at as well. So anywhere along that track is where you guys should seek shelter. And most concerning is Lafayette being the area that's very populated, and even northwest Lafayette. There's a lot of new developments up through here, and going into the Rollins area, which is very busy too, before we get into the, Roanoke is still farther north, but we're still out of the county there, but we're going to continue to track that. So there's a tornado right here. We'll circle that for you. Just south of Kendall Crossroads, you should be in your safe spot right now. And it is lifting rapidly, almost adjacent to where State Highway 50 goes north and east in that portion, and almost directly into Lafayette. And that's what concerns me big time right now, because I don't like that going in a populated area. And it's tightening up. So we don't have any confirmation yet. We have nothing. So this truly could be, yeah, there's no debris or anything. So there's some, if there's any comfort to this right now, is that this thing is not even, we don't see any evidence of this thing touching down. There's nothing. Of course, you always look for visual, but looking at it from the radar standpoint, the good news with this is that this is probably more like kind of a, I don't even call it a wake low, it's not proper, but some kind of, it's really spun up from the main line, which typically could be weak, and we just don't want it to drop down. But still, you could still get wind damage with this. And Nicole, I don't know if you had, or just somebody was this, I think somebody was just not, okay, I thought somebody was knocking on there. So anyway, so that's what we're looking at. So we're going to stay with you here. So good news right now is just to ease minds, is that it's not confirmed, and we don't see any evidence that this is actually touching down. But we do have good rotation, and it is a Doppler indicated tornado right now, okay? So, but we still, it's just best to be in a safe spot. Do not get into the high levels of a home or dwelling. You should be at the most lowest interior section, as many walls between you and the outside. So what we're doing now is we're kind of doing other inspections around Opelika and Lee County. Just watch this rotation line. We don't see any other spin up rotating. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing here in Crawford, coming into Russell County, of course, in Lee. And you could see it really, really bowing out here. So Hurtsboro, you're clear right now from the strongest winds. If you're right along 51, okay, Little Texas now, we get outside of Beauregard. Our Beauregard residents, that was some windy conditions, wasn't it? But you're good now. If you're in Beauregard, we always want to comfort our Beauregard residents and anybody. And again, he has a lot of people shaking when you see his systems. That was only a wind event for you. There's been no tornadoes, but this kind of bowing out, outflow coming out, is certainly could be damaging wind with that, but certainly no evidence of that being at 70 miles per hour. You know, this is likely we're looking at that. I don't know if we can even do that on that, Cody, but I would say anywhere between 35 to 40. But still, that's enough that can topple some weak trees down, pines, and they get toppled over on power lines. And we had, and I haven't had an update since, but portions of our Alabama viewing area, I believe, had 108 power outages last I understood. Okay, and we'll update you on that as we go along. So it's a continual line, as we said, and it's going to continue this way. Okay, oh, statewide, I'm corrected here, and I stand, thank you. Statewide is 137 power outages, so we're doing good. 2 thumbs up. So this line is as ominous as it looks. It's been behaving in a way that's given us more upper level dynamics. Okay, so going back to Lafayette, which I was concerned about, no confirmed tornado, but there's a tornado warning because we see spinning in the atmosphere. The level 2 radar is bringing that reflectivity back to us, and we're seeing the air moving away from the radar. We get outside, I believe this is Maxwell, and we are watching this lifting north and east. And the concern is there's just a lot of tight population here everywhere south of Lafayette, right along State Route 50, Highway 50, especially where it's just to the west of 431 intersecting into south part of downtown Lafayette. So if you're in Lafayette, just get in your safe spot. Just listen to us. This is nothing that you should be alarmed. This is just something you just want to be prepared, because I don't see anything else. There's been no evidence of any debris that we see. We checked CC. We tracked correlation coefficient, which detects debris signatures. We don't see that. And we still have no power outages in Chambers County, but Cody's got something to add.
This is not related to the tornado warning, but
okay.
We are starting to get some large trees reports down across Opelika and Lee County. Okay,
so that's from that bow echo that we saw. We just showed you how the outflow winds were kind of bowing out. So as I have my producer, we got our assistant news director in my ear, Connor Hackling, he's going to be investigating it too with his team just to see if we do have anything that would be coming in for more power outages. It's surprising with that many trees down. As long as the tree doesn't hit a power line, aces, we're doing okay. And no homes, when I want to be safe. So what Cody's talking about, and meteorologist Nicole Phillips has been on Facebook and Live. She's been doing some social, updating you guys on there too, just to recap, is that this outflowing line, which is the main portion of the storm, this is all we're looking at for the rest of today. Thank you. We're looking at it moving eastward. That outflowing effect has caused a lot of trees to go down. These are weak trees with this kind of system. My feeling is this: we're not seeing, you know, we're under a severe thunderstorm warning. We're not seeing that 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. We would have certainly a lot more damage by now. If you're in Smith Station, even with the warning, in Lee County and Russell, Phoenix City, Crawford, Hurtsboro, still getting your safe spot. The reason for you, always in a structured spot, even with a line like this, there's that potential of any kind of wind with these thunderstorms along to create some strong damaging winds, to just make sure there's no trees around you, that you're in a safe spot, lowest level.
They've extended the severe thunderstorm warning to include the rest of Russell and Barbour County.
Okay, makes sense.
So
yeah.
Basically all of our Alabama counties are under some type of warning.
Okay, so that's exactly in line with why the tornado watch was issued for the entire news reviewing area, including East Central Alabama. So all of our East Central Alabama counties that are east of this line, if you are, let me just give you a recap. There's a tornado warning that's coming up near Lafayette. We're going to get back to you, excuse me, Lafayette. We don't have any confirmation of this being on the ground, pardon me. It is 43 minutes after, and in a few minutes it's going to be in downtown Lafayette. So if you're in Lafayette, you should be in a safe spot right now. We have no confirmation, but the southern line of that continues. So if you are in Shorter, Alabama, Eclectic, Montgomery, if you're in Auburn now, you're okay. Opelika, you're still seeing a lot of heavy wind and heavy rain, but you'll be okay because you're not on a leading edge. Okay, 390 and Smith Station area. Okay, so that's interesting. It tells us a lot. We had a lot more winds on the outflow of this reported with trees down in areas around Smith Station. Give me those Lee roads again one more time. 390 near 177, 390 near 177, 390, 177. We're going to find that. There's been some trees down before the physical squall line. Now, when we had reports, when we were live streaming all morning, we were talking about that low ceiling, and Nicole and I were talking about that shelf cloud. That was outflow winds. That just knocked a few trees down in that area. So that's a hazard. If you're driving, don't need to go outside. Those are the kind of the hazards we're looking at. What's interesting about that is that had nothing to do with the main line. That was the energy kicking up ahead of it. So the main energy still continues, and even with that being said, it's not as strong as what we just saw in the outflow winds that we just reported near Smith Station. So Smith, you still got to be prepared, even though you thought it's all over. That was just an outflow wind boundary. But you're just minutes away on 169. This is Alabama State Road 169 and US 280 through Alabama, through Lee County, where that's moving your way. If you're in Beauregard, I just want to get Beauregard, you've got heavy rain and thunderstorms, but you're good. I just want to comfort minds now. It's all comforting. If you're in Beauregard, Opelika, Auburn, even Opelika now, the winds are just to the east of you, as we can see on reflectivity. So you're good. You've just got heavy rain, obviously. So it's still, stay put. But from Opelika, Beauregard, Union Springs, Auburn, Lochapoka, Shorter, Tuskegee, all westward, chill out. You guys are great. You guys are in good shape. If you're in Crawford, Ladonia, Hurtsboro, Smith Station, we still got some winds to deal with. Go ahead, Cody.
Tornado warning has been allowed to
expire.
Well, they canceled it, really.
Okay, yeah. Which, that's what we're saying. We had no evidence of it, but we want to inform you. So Lafayette residents, go back up to Lafayette real quick and let you know that very heavy rain and lightning. There is no evidence of tornado. It is canceled. We're looking at very broad rotation right now, and it's all kind of south right now, right along where it intersects 431 and 50. That's State Route 50 and US 431, all moving to the south and east into downtown Lafayette. It's windy there right now. It probably looks ominous, but there's no tornado with that. So you guys, you're okay now. You guys could kind of just stay put for a few minutes. You hear the winds subside, you're good. You guys are good. So that's some good news. And this is why we didn't want to be on air to overplay this. We're only on if we feel there could be potentially life-threatening weather. Any of this, anytime a tree comes down, we're informing people, why are you on here? Because it's such a long line, it's impacting the entire news reviewing area. So any tree, if you have any susceptibilities, anything like that that is not secure, that could certainly present a new hazard, and that's why we're looking at it. I'm pleased to just say in this respect right now that this is not the worst we've seen, but there's still hazards that could be seen, and there could still be more strengthening as we continue to head off towards the east in our Georgia counties. We're still focused for West Point, Valley, Smith Station, Fort Benning. We're talking about areas Fort Mitchell, Crawford, Seal, and everybody in between. You still got some very heavy rain and some strong gusts, potentially could knock down weak trees. What we've been seeing is a lot of pines, obviously, and the stress level after all the heavy rain that we received. There was questions asked about flooding. This is moving too fast for that, but there's going to be flood-prone areas and poor drainage and slow drainage areas that will get standing water. Cody.
All right, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning on the Georgia side.
Okay.
Chattahoochee, Harris, Meriwether, Muskogee, Talbot, and Troop.
Okay, even though it's not happening right now, there's outflow winds ahead of it, and it's headed your way. So this is an early warning to give you a heads up. Now, the only thing I would say with this, yeah, whenever you see something like this, we've got to keep an eye out for Pine Mountain, West Point and Valley. It's moving through you guys right now. Talbotton, of course, Talbot County was talking to Lee Ehrenheim today, this morning. Elizabeth Ham from Smith Station. We're doing good right now, or Lee County, but in Opelika, I should say, for the Hams. But Lee Ehrenheim, of course, she's concerned about her residents, considering that 73-mile track back on 3 of March of 19. It looks like you're just going to get some heavy rain and some strong wind gusts. So that's just want to let you guys know that. It continues like this, but still there could be that potential little weak spin up like we saw in Lafayette. So by us just seeing that, that tells me anywhere from 280 north, where we got to keep in mind that the ground and the geography, topography starts to lift rapidly around Highway 190. We have a tendency through that Harris County area, like a little mini tornado valley, or if you want to say, is that we get this lift. It's fancy as isentropic or orographic conditions sometimes help to dynamically lift the air and you get more thunderstorm activity, but it also can help to take something and kind of catapult it and spin it a little bit. So why we need to be on here for that reason. What we're going to do now is take you live at the Phoenix City Amphitheater camera and show you how it looks outside. We don't want anyone to go out. And so we could see that too. And also Dadeville Fire Department, multiple trees down, and I'm sure there's power outages too. So Dadeville Fire Department, that's a visual inspection. The volunteer firefighters up there in Dadeville reporting numerous trees down, and that is already past Dadeville, but now it's cleanup mode right now for them. So the worst is off past Dadeville, but certainly you know the history of this now. We've had history of trees down, even the onset of the system with the outflow winds ahead of the squall line, knock trees down in the Smith Station area. So this is the type of weather we're seeing. It's still bowing a little bit. A little bit of rotation south of Crawford. It's broad. This is not tornadic, but it's certainly showing us some rotation. It's spin up stuff along the bowing line here on the squall line. So where US 431 comes right into Highway 80, US 80 in Crawford, you guys can hear some strong gusty winds here. Let's show you the areas. You look where Hughley is, or Hughley, and we look at Boswell Road, back to Paget's Road, and we look at these areas in between. Paget's are clear, but when you get up to Crawford, you're certainly seeing some strong winds. So if you're in Crawford right now, winds are starting to crank up a little bit, and not tornadic, but you got some strong gusty winds headed towards Boswell Road in these neighborhoods here. Sanford Road area, Clark Road, that extends farther south. That's a long bowing line right along the Alabama State Route 169 into US 431, and you can see that as well. So see where it's bowing out here? Right here? That's what we're looking at. That's all the winds that are coming in, and that extends from Crawford all the way back down into southern parts of Russell County, and now that warning extends, as Cody told you, is now in Harris, and it goes beyond. But right now we're still focused on outside of Chambers. We're also looking, sorry to turn my back at everybody here at Lee and Russell County. So that's what we're looking at right now. So that continues to bow out like that. We've had Dadeville report of trees down. So right now the history of the system, if you're just joining us, is more trees down. That's a hazard. And if there's any big trees near your house, always get into more structured area as well. Believe it or not, there have been more deaths with thunderstorms, the U.S. statistically, from trees being toppled down from thunderstorms that come through homes too. It's not to scare you or alarm you, but don't be complacent. Just think about that. If you got trees that you're kind of concerned about, get under the stairs if you can do that. Get in a safe spot. You're going to be all right. But this is certainly not as vigorous as we've seen that we did 3 years ago at the end of January. We had a 2-day event. So, okay. So as we continue to watch this severe thunderstorm warning complex come into Muskogee, Chattahoochee County, it's up in the areas around, it looks like it's coming outside into areas of Talbot and Meriwether and Troop counties as well, and all the way points northward out of our viewing area in Barbour County. I'm not leaving Barbour County out of this in Alabama, but it's merely winds. The strongest portion of the system, the reason why we're getting back to this right here, is because that's the strongest part of this line of severe thunderstorms, and it's where it's bowing out. So Smith Station, right now, you're wondering, you thought everything was over, we just got some winds to deal with, tremendous amount of lightning. And we're going to be waiting. We got Elizabeth White is working vehemently to give us some really good information. In a few moments we'll present to you, so stay with us if you're in the Auburn area. Cody.
All right, we finally getting a, excuse me, some damage reports out of Chambers County.
Okay.
This is from emergency management. Several trees blown down along County Road 123. That's near or just north of the Tremel Crossroads area.
Okay, so let's zoom into that area. We're gonna zoom into that area you just talked about, Cody. And you guys, you can go to Cody too as well. He is on camera too, just FYI. And we'll go into that area real quick here and see what he's talking about. So we want to zoom in a little bit. It's south, of there. It looks like where the damage. That could be early reports though, south of Cassetta, Alabama. Let me see right there. There's your tree damage down there. It started there and it's up in 5 points there. So you got Shiloh, Opelika here. Let's go back to Lee. Large limbs and snapped and right along this areas that we're just talking about. So that's the history of the system. It's all about damaged trees mainly. These are going to be weakened trees, but the weak trees, they could be 50, 60 foot high, and they could present obviously that hazard. That's why you shouldn't be on the roads. No one should be traveling because trees, if you're traveling, trees come down in an area that's not safe. And the torrential rain, I'm not excluding that, this brief torrential rain. And again, they fill up in the tread of your tire real quick and you can hydroplane. And we're not seeing a lot of power outages in Lee or Chambers, not a lot at all. In fact, that's some good news. That means obviously this kind of damage didn't really hit a grid or didn't hit any power lines in a populated area. That doesn't mean, even though the report that we had statewide, I think last was like 137 outages. That's not bad. It's good considering what we just seen come roaring through here this morning and afternoon. So we look at the Smith Station area. You right now are seeing your strongest winds and the strongest portion of the system. Now you got to look at the atmosphere. Now I'm starting to get, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this differently. Before I thought it was because maybe it was lagging behind. I think literally what's happening is it's accelerating, and the bowing out effect is a sign of some weakening in a sense, but as it's moving this way three-dimensionally in the atmosphere, the backside still has a lot of lightning, Cody.
Well, to add that, forward motion is at 60 miles per hour.
That's fast. So it's in its dying stage, but it is certainly, even if moving, any kind of air mass moving that fast and accelerating is going to create more wind damage. End of story. So I would expect if you're in West Central Georgia now, especially from Chattahoochee County, Muskogee, Harris, Talbot, Troop, and Meriwether counties, you guys are going to end up seeing some potential more trees going down. That's just a fact. That's what we know, and that's what we're seeing right now on radar, and it's doing it really quick. It's moving fast. So if we do a trajectory track, a squall line track, what would we be looking at all the way from Barbour County? In Barbour County, Eufaula, for our Eufaula residents now, I'm not leaving you guys out. Eufaula, Stewart County, stay tuned too. Omaha and southward, in Georgetown, keep in mind Clay County, Quitman, and Randolph counties. I want you to be mindful of this too. We haven't been focusing on you yet, but we're going to get to you because it's not affecting you yet. But here's the trajectory path of the squall line with the potential more down trees. So there's the potential of that, and that's a hazard. So let me get out of the way so you can see the times over here. We look over here from Columbus, Phoenix City, Casita, Georgia, Thomaston. We're looking at this, Georgia, to Americus, to Lizella, all the way down. This is a 5 o'clock Eastern time, exactly what we said. We're 4 minutes away. And that has been really on point, Nicole, since we came in today. So since the midday hour. So this has been a very consistent moving system. So that means to me, even though Cody said it is picking up, so these times are probably going to accelerate because he said you've seen these going 60 miles an hour at the surface, the speed of it, not the winds. Americus, Sumter County, 57 after, and going into the new hour, obviously out of the news reviewing area after 6 o'clock. So this is for football tonight. We're pleased because I can tell you right now we're going to be able to watch a game with no interruption. That's no news director is happy, and our general manager very happy right now. Okay, so we're going to see this kind of keep moving off to the east, and that's some good news. Now, a lot of multiple kinks. There's a little something down here west of Ladonia. We'll keep an eye on that, but again, that's very common. That you get the weak little spinning rotation along this whole thing. So south of Smith Station, kind of north of Crawford, you're pretty much clear. Beauregard, by the way, I want to emphasize, you just joined us. Beauregard, take a deep breath. You guys are okay. It's just rain and some thunderstorms in the area. You're okay. Smith Station, though, you're still under the gun. Lee Road 240, let's keep an eye on these neighborhoods here. Let's go to those neighborhoods and tell you guys, just right now, right where Lee Road 240 intersects with Lee Road 235, the neighborhood of Monterey Heights, this is some strong gusty winds with this. There's some upper level winds spinning. Doesn't mean it's at the surface, but it's very possible that those winds could pick up real suddenly to 40 to 50 miles an hour. That will do some damage. So if you're in the Lee Road 208 area, I wouldn't even be outside. Lee Road 240, this is not a tornado, but we see some circulation. It's tightening up here. And again, that could be something that we want to keep an eye out for. So that's what we're looking at. And that could go into Lee Road 230. That comes up to 235. So we're 235 and 230 intersect here, these neighborhoods here, just to the northwest of Monterey Heights. Monterey Heights, I would still kind of like hunker in a safe place. This kind of wind, if it does make it to the surface, it's moving so fast, so the accelerating line itself, we may not have time for it to mix down, but that could do some damage easily to a lot of trees, especially high treetops. You know, you get about 60 to 100 feet above the surface, the winds change dramatically, and that could still hit some of the top of those trees and weaken them tremendously, and they topple quickly. So these are the areas we want to watch out for here. Then we're going to get into Green Island Hills and North Columbus. That area is very populated. We also know the Smiths Road area, what happened on 3 of March, and we took such a hit here with so many trees. So this is not tornado, but there's potential of some more trees going down in those areas. Now, it's very thinned out because what happened that tornado March 3rd, but again, there's still a lot of areas that are stripped from the root system. That can actually cause a lot of runoff from the rain that's coming down, and that can loosen some of those weak pines down and some other trees that have been severely damaged. So again, it's kind of like be in your safe spot. I would not be on the top level of a floor, even with this kind of situation, because damaging winds are still potential. This is not a panic situation. You don't hear an elevation. This is just merely we're keeping you updated because this is a widespread event for the entire News 3 viewing area. And just to answer, the football game will be uninterrupted tonight, the playoffs. So we're talking about the NFL, of course. And nothing else there, too. Nicole's updating everybody at WRBL Facebook, Twitter, and some of our other locations. Cody, answering questions. Tell us what you got. What kind of questions you're fielding here?
Someone on Twitter asked me, when is it going to get to Americus and what are the threats?
Okay.
If it holds at its current speed, which we're seeing about 60 miles per hour, that fast forward speed, I'd said maybe America's about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 Eastern time. So, and of course the threats are going to be damaging winds with this line of storms that's moving through. So I'm just going to go ahead and answer this one. But if you guys have any questions, you know, go ahead, send them through. I'm watching that and I'm updating Facebook, Twitter, all the socials.
Good job. So Nicole and Cody. Cody's, if you're wondering how this radar is moving all around, he's doing that. Nicole is answering your questions. So we got the First Alert Weather team on your side right now to keep you updated. If there is any power outages, which we haven't seen, and if we'd be on radio if this was like really, really life-threatening and we would have some serious damage. It still needs to be taken seriously. It's good to prepare. We want to avoid any injuries from toppled trees. Trees are unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen, so that's what makes it kind of scary when you have something like this. If you have any loose trees, just to be away from them and be in a good structured part of your home, and you'll be fine. You're going to be fine. But this is nothing like what we've seen before. And so the trend has been an acceleration movement. South of Smith Station, I don't know, it's kind of anomalous, but it isn't anomalous. It is actually physically rotating. It's a little bit of a tiny rotation there, but it's not. We just need to watch that is what we need to do. As
Peachtree City's watching that as it moves across.
We need to watch this, and so see we hit you first on that too. That's good. So this is what's great about technology.
It's so right over.
Go ahead, Cole. I'll let you talk.
I was saying it's right over 280 right now.
Okay. So, and if you're south of Lee Road 298, Lee Road 248, it's right on top of you as we speak, because this scan was about less than a minute ago. So Lee Road 248 is on top of you now. Lee Road 298, and once we get into the Waterford Road area and the population areas, as we get into River Chase Drive, we're getting into
we have a tornado warning.
Tornado warning right now. Okay, that's what we figure. Okay, so let's break it out a little bit.
It's for that circulation.
For that circulation. So we've been talking about this before Weather Service was talking about this. So we've been talking about this since then. So that's where we're at. So now, what has people a little bit on edge here? Again, folks, I want to let you know, this is not your atypical powerful tornado, but it needs to be taken seriously. Their winds are in and out winds 42, so that's what we're seeing at surface. We'll wait until we see what's happening aloft if this tightens up. Historically, we've been seeing with these spinning up around chambers, they did pick up about 60 mile an hour at times, so this could still do some damage with a lot of trees and surface and whatnot. So what I would say right now, just because I'm curious, if, and I don't want to interrupt you, Cody, if you're getting messages out there, and Nicole, could we, and if you're in Harrison, Muskogee, it's not there just yet.
We are live on PMB or Q1073.
Okay, good. So right now we are on Q1073 FM, our broadcast partners at PMB Broadcasting, okay? So if you get interruption and power outages, you need to stay with us. We're simulcasting on Q1073 FM. Okay, now, just to the east, northeast of Leave Road 240 is a possible tornado. I would say it's probably too premature, but we could probably go with just, it's on this scan it weakened, but we're going to watch it. There's a circulation around Lee Road 248 now. If you're in the Winding Ridge Road area, just seek shelter right now to be safe. This is not a bad tornado, but there's a potential tornado here, and because it's coming in a populated area, Doppler indicated, we're going wall to wall, because at any time it could always drop a weak tornado spinning. Surprisingly, again, this is not supercell type. This is not what we had back in March. Time of year too, but these are all being driven by what we call forward momentum from the squall line. And typically, these are not strong, but we don't downplay it at all. We just want you to be safe. And again, just a comfort of mind, this is not that bad, because a lot of people are going to ask that. Is this something really? No, we've seen worse, but it needs to be watched, because it's all it takes is a couple trees down and hits a house. We don't want that. So this tornado warning here is merely just that, a lot of upper level rotation. And I'm going to call it just more still Doppler indicated, and has not yet come into the Moore Road area in North Columbus. So stay with us here. Okay, now before we get to, if we go to the Phoenix City Amphitheater camera, which is south, I just want to show you what we're looking at right now if we take a look at that. So the Phoenix City Amphitheater camera is showing you just an obstructed view, and it looks ominous because you got a lot of outflow winds ahead of this stuff. So what you're seeing is low shelf cloud, roll cloud we call it, and that's kind of disrupting visibility, and that's pretty much what most you're going to get. Embedded in this, just to your west in Muskogee County, is some good rotation outflow winds. So the outflow winds just propagated and caused a little rotation in the atmosphere to give us this tornado warning, which is at Lee Road 248. It's south of Lee Road 298. So if you're south of Lee Road 298, it's in that vicinity. It's really broad, but just you want to seek shelter. Now, let's get over to Goat Rock Road, south on 219, and let you guys know that if you're on the 219, right here, Georgia State Route 219, Winding Ridge Road around Biggers. I know this is very reminiscent of March 3rd, the same path here. It seems like this is our tornado alley here. It seems like whenever we have these kind of tilted axes coming in fast or squall lines, they want to come in this direction. So south of Biggers Road, I would seek shelter now. Our good mayor is up there too, and they did a great action plan with Riley Land this week too. So they're all, everybody's all in place. So is our Columbus Fire and EMS. Old River Road, and nothing to be concerned about, just the fact to seek shelter. A lot of two-story homes here. Green Island Hills, you're okay, because coming out of Lee Road 312, we're clearing right now the Lee County area. So if you're in Lee County, in eastern Lee County, you're okay now. The circulation's out of your area. It's coming into Muskogee County, and it's south of Biggers. It's around Winding Ridge Road right now in the neighborhoods to the northwest of that. If you're south of that, Green Island Hills, you're okay. This isn't the part of it. So if you're watching us at Green Island Hills, Brookstone area, Whitesville Road, got a dear friend there in Brookstone. She calls me. I think she was calling me today. Glenda, you were okay, sweetheart, because she's by herself. So you're okay. It's all this is Winding Ridge Road on this. And again, this is not a confirmed tornado, but there's circulation with it, which still makes it to the surface. We still get damaging wind with it. So it's going to continue around Hubbard Road eventually. Let's go ahead and do, I think we're ready for a cone on that, Cody. We can go ahead and do it now, I would say. And we're going to take you all the way to 185, and we get to Fortson and those areas there. It's in Catala. So, and this will probably continue on that track, and yes, Waverly Hall, if it continues like this. But I don't see it getting any, hopefully any worse than this, but we need to watch. So, local time, as we said, Barron, the Rehoboth area, Osahatchee, you know where that is? Right around areas around Ellerslie, north of Ellerslie. Waverly Hall kind of going north and east of that area too to about 536, okay? and we continue to lift north and east of that. So we have another shot for, I'm going to take you over by the river here and repeat that location for me one more time again. I'm sorry. But we're going to show you this shot here, what's going on. Front Avenue, looking west across the river right now. And no doubt, this is some pretty heavy rain here. We're cleaning off the lens here. I'm going to, this is Keldrick Cronwell, I think, and he's our MMJ out there to clear the lens to give you a little bird's eye view. So it does look ominous. I mean, you know, visibility is very poor in this situation, as you can see. Is it? Okay, thank you. So let me just grab a little cup of water here. Cody, why don't you and Nicole, let's go. You got the trajectory on that again. You could see it coming into Harrison, Muskogee, northern. But again, is there, I'm trying to think, I mean, put correlation coefficient just to prove the point. I mean, there's no debris with that, I doubt.
Yeah, no debris right now, and that's good news from the 2 tornado warnings that we've seen today, one for Chambers, one for Harris in Muskogee County. So no confirmation by the radar.
And, okay, we'll go back here. Cody's going to get his mic back on. Once you get your mic on, Cody, just start talking. You can interrupt me. But you can look here outside of Smith Station, Columbus. So this is all around the Biggers Road area. And we look at this. This is what we call correlation coefficient, debris detector. And there's actually... the debris on it is nothing. We don't see much going on here, so that's some good news. And what does it mean to you? We would see like a very tight pixelation that would mimic exactly where that scan would come back, and this is an atypical that. It's a lot of anomalous propagation, we call it. It's very consistent, so therefore there's nothing that would give us a debris signature in this particular case. So if you're south of Pine Mountain, Waverly Hall, areas around Smith Road, Catala, Fortson, these area, Ellerslie, northward, there could be some strong winds here that could topple over some trees. It's been the history of this so far. That's been history, but no confirmed tornado. And honestly, that's a great sign, Nicole and Cody.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
And you could take the other camera. You guys flip over to Cody and Nicole here if you'd like for a second, and just see what you have. So I'm just going to grab a little water here for the mic.
Yeah, that's a great sign. We don't have any debris signatures, so that's good. One thing, though, that we are noticing, too, is as this moves off towards the northeast, very heavy rainfall with this. If you know anybody that's maybe in Hamilton, Waverly Hall, make sure you tell them to get to their safe spot, whether that's interior room, a bathtub, make sure they protect something over their head. Even though we aren't seeing any signs of debris, still you want to take this seriously. Also, if you know anyone that maybe needs to head out here within the next, I'm going to say 20 to 45 or 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even 45 minutes. Avoid that, especially going up into northern sections of Muskogee County and into Harris County. I travel this way all week long getting to work, and I know that this highway here, when it gets rain, it's hard to drive on, especially when you have winds. You've got all those trees, so please be careful. Get into your safe spots. Avoid travel until this warning is over. Again, Harris and Muskogee County, we have a tornado warning until 5:30 Eastern time.
Okay, and that's great advice, Nicole, and that's what you mean the action plan is put in place. Where are we exactly now? You could see definitely we're looking south. Let's get right in that neighborhood. We're gonna go street level tracking now until it's over because we're in populated areas. Barron Wooldridge Road. If you're in Wooldridge Road, as Nicole just told you, this is why you get in your safe spot. This is south of Fortson. So if you're in Fortson right now, you're Fortson southward. That's where you got to watch these neighborhoods where Turnberry Lane is. Pierce Chapel Road area, you should be seeking shelter to Old Gate Road as we get in here into eventually right into Harris County here. And as Nicole just told you, like Highway 27,
yeah.
US 27, is so many trees just
so
locked.
many trees, yes.
Yeah, and they topple over easily, and it's going to be passing over those areas very soon. The West Bon Acre area on March 3rd was more or less hit. So this is south of that area from that track. So if you're in West Bon Acre, it's all south of you, so you're okay. But I'm concerned about the neighborhoods that come perpendicular and adjacent to 27, US 27 in Harris County. And we're going to continue to watch this as it rapidly lifts north and east. And what the track would have, we can even get, I know, Cody, we're just going to widen it just to get that track. Let's go ahead and get that track. We'll take it, just to the northeast of Barron and north and east there. Yeah, they'll see that. So even though I said East Bon Acre is probably going to be south of it, we're going to put you in that cone into 315, which gets you back into the Catala area, Ellerslie, and all the way back up into Waverly Hall. So if we look at these times again, this is what we need to do. If you're in Ellerslie right now, it's okay. We're looking at, you know, areas that would even include, if you know where the Yancey, you know, where we do the small engine repair shops and all that, around the Ellerslie Fire Department, those areas there, just kind of seek shelter, just be ready. Just north of that, Osahatchee, and then Waverly Hall about 32 minutes after the hour. It's 12 after, so you know, 20 minutes from now, at least seek shelter, get in your safe spot. And you can do that now if you're listening to us on WRBL or Q1073 FM and WRBL.com and our radar app. So Bawville would take it even farther north and east. And we'll start talking about Talbot County when we get closer. But again, not confirmed. It's not impressive, but it's a Doppler indicated tornado, and it means it can drop any kind of tornado at any time when we look at this. But if you're on 315,
hey Bob, I think we have
watch.
2 circulations in Harris County.
We need to watch that. Okay.
Up near Hamilton.
Okay, let's go out. And that's, again, where I was telling you about that lift that we get up in there. We're saying this about 20 minutes ago. That enhances development. So that's why you get a wave action, you hit the higher elevations, and it spins. So west of Hamilton, like lower Blue Springs Road, let's get as close as we can to that because I want to see how many miles it is.
On the northern one?
Through the rec center, yeah, and the northern one. That one looks more impressive, that's why. Let's just see that real quick. So there's Calhoun Road, Hudson Mill, the lower Blue Springs Road, as I just mentioned. It winds a lot. So if you're there, that's to the south and east here. It's really Old Black Snake Road where Hawks Road is. It's all east and north. It's moving northeast to you. Where Hamilton Pleasant Grove is, those neighborhoods there, you can even get even closer, Cody. Zoom right down, go north of that. Northeast, yeah, excellent. And so if you're in Beach Springs, Hamilton Pleasant, in between that, where Hopewell Church Road is in Hopewell, you should seek shelter immediately. And that is just to the southeast of Hopewell Church Road in the Hopewell area neighborhood. Pardon me. And in the Nelson Road areas as well. So these areas here, all south and east of Hopewell, you really should be seeking shelter right now from a potential possibility of some damaging wind from some circulation with could be a possible tornado. We still don't see it right now. So there's within that cone we actually are seeing that. So this is clearly these are spin up weak rotating tornado potential that's in here. So we'll widen this out again. We'll go to Veterans Parkway real quick. So I'm going to show you that's real broad circulation now anyway. So that could be some strong damaging wind. So we're going live right now and showing you right now as we see at this hour. It's 15 minutes after, quarter after the hour, south on Veterans towards the Civic Center or South Commons area of Columbus, Georgia and Victory Drive. You can see how heavy that rain is coming down. This is certainly inside a stationary area of a car. So we're looking at Ruth Ann's that would be probably in that area too, as you can see before you get to Victory Drive, looking southbound right here on areas around Veterans Parkway. So around the Civic Center. So you can see nobody should just be out. We have people that are already put in place in safe spots sitting stationary with our live units and just showing you that the rain rate is pretty heavy with this, and that always creates a new hazard as well. There is no tornado in this area. There's been no confirmed tornado. What we're seeing is now this all spinning up. It's just a little bit of a little spinning rotation out of the main line. So northwest of Hamilton, no confirmed tornado. This is a very broad rotation. It's not in, and it's not coupling at all what we would typically see. So, but it's enough that these two areas in just south of Fortson, moving towards Waverly Hall, northwest of Hamilton, moving towards, if you're in Pine Mountain areas where 190 comes in, this will probably run a course close to Callaway Gardens into the southeast into Pine Mountain Valley, which isn't atypical the way the terrain is. You don't typically say, well, what's going to happen there? This will probably weaken because of the terrain, because this isn't that kind of supercell kind of tornado, but it's still spinning. This still tightens up occasionally south of where 208 is. So this would be coming right into areas in areas that I'm very familiar with. People know me. So around 315. So you're around the Holland Road and 315 and Harris Road area where it comes into 208. If you're at Harris in 208, that area, those neighborhoods here where Beginning Farms and all that, where Denny Road is, I would be seeking shelter just to be serious. And there is no reports of power outages at all in Muskogee and Harris. So this is anything that we're seeing, but Cody's got something to add.
I saw a report of powers out in downtown West Point.
West Point, okay. So in the northern part of this line is where we've been seeing some trees reported down. So West Point's really the only one. So we haven't seen with all our sources, I'm just pleased to report that at least we are all taking our action plan as we were prepared, and we're going to take this and exercise this for the rest of the severe weather season without any panic, without anything. It's all about just being prepared and taking days to inform people and be a good neighbor and inform others who don't have the ability to get the communication effectively. So, pardon me again. So we're looking at this. So if you're in the Waverly Hall area right now, around Harris Road, west of Harris Road, around 208, westward all the way to 27, I would just get in a good safe spot right now. The broad area, this is just outflow winds. So right now, the good news is from Hopewell, minimal thunder from 15 minutes ago in Hamilton, northwest of Hamilton. This is just all now based on storm rotation. We look at this and we can see this is all forward momentum, straight line winds kind of. It's not your atypical, but certainly some gusty winds with that. No tornado. I don't see any tornado with that now. Excuse me. So 315, that area there, we're going to wait for a better scan. We just got a bad scan on that, but we'll get it in a second here. Okay. So we'll continue.
That's all we're getting off of Peachtree.
Okay, that's Peachtree right now, so that's all we're getting. So now the Doppler indicated tornadoes, we're not seeing this right now, so we're not seeing that. So I want to repeat, there's no tornado confirmed, but if you're in Osahatchee, if you're at 315, north of 315 now, if you're in the Catala area here in 27, you're okay. But if you're in the neighborhoods on 315 north and west going towards Osahatchee in Harris County, Ellerslie, Turntime Crossroads. Turntime Crossroads is anywhere where Harris intersects with 208, and then there's Upchurch Drive and downtown Waverly Hall. I would just take a shelter approach because you're going to have some strong gusty winds, if anything, right now. But we're going to stay on this. But in the meantime, because there's no evidence, I want you guys just around these areas you see here, let me back out of it. If you're at Mayo Road, if you're Turntime Crossroads, Waverly Hall, and Twin Lakes Road where Cody's got it, this is more north what happened in March 3rd, just FYI, but it's not a tornado. You may be hearing tornado warnings, but it's a potential circulation that can bring some damaging wind, is what I'm going to say right now to ease mind. But still take all the way to Pierce Road to 208, going into Talbot County. Please just take a safe spot, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, but just exercise that for me, please. Let's go live right now in two locations here. We'll go to Victory Drive right now as we're watching that line of rain. This is a live picture. You know it looks dark on your screen. It's 20 after the hour right now. It froze right now. We're going to go to the Phoenix City Amphitheater and just show you. And again, we use cell tower. This is our live one, and you could see looking towards Columbus. This is now looking everything that is actually coming into downtown. This is right in the middle of Columbus now. This is the worst part of the system that is moving through Phoenix City. So if you're in East Central Alabama, except Eufaula, you still have a potential seeing some strong winds in Fort Gaines. Now we're back to Victory Drive right now to take it from another perspective and showing you as we look in these areas south as it continues to roll southward. Tremendous amount of lightning, and it's very dark out for that reason, as you can see right now, and you can see just a little bit of the lights that we're seeing out towards these areas, how heavy and that rate of rainfall has been coming down. Nicole, you were saying, what, 2 inches an hour you saw earlier?
Yes, some locations had 2 to 3 inches of rain, so very, very heavy rainfall. If you have to be out, which I do not advise that, please stay at home until at least we get the, definitely until the tornado warning is over with if you're in Harris County, but also until these thunderstorm warnings expire, because this rain is heavy, and when you're out, you can't see, you're blinded by this rain. It's coming down, and then also to the potential to hydroplane as well if you're going very fast. You know, it's easy for that water to just get up under the car, so please be careful. Stay home until this dies down. You know, we're in the thick of it now, but eventually we will get out of this. These storms are moving pretty fast at the moment, going about 60 miles per hour, so please stay home if you can.
And in Cody's updating us, the tornado warning has expired, but it's now severe thunderstorm warning, which means that we're still concerned about damaging wind, but no tornado.
Well, the tornado warning continues for Harris County. It was been allowed to expire for Muskogee County, but here are rain rates off of our system.
Okay.
Which is about, you can see almost 4 inches per hour right across South Columbus.
So from that live picture you're seeing that we're out there, you could see it clearly how heavy that's coming down. Meteorologist Nicole Phillips and Nicole was saying that rate of rainfall is so heavy that even with good tread,
Yes.
good tread. You see accidents happen all the time, fill up, and that's why you hydroplane. Cody, you're looking at this again. So if I'm looking at Harris Meriwether Talbot Troop, is that there is no, we don't see any evidence of tornado. It's all more right now in the thick of things. So if you're in Smith Station, it's cleared. Crawford, the worst is over for you. If you're in Stewart County and Omaha, you're going to be seeing some heavy rain and wind. Waverly Hall, the tornado warning continues, but again, Doppler indicated, still encompassed with that severe thunderstorm.
We are getting a report out of southern Harris County of a tree on a house on Fortson Road.
Okay, that's exactly why we're cutting in. That's important. Exactly what we're talking about. People want to know, why are you on so long? Because this is the hazard we're talking about. So we hope and pray these people are okay in this situation, and you could count on the Catawba Fire Department getting out there, and they will be there and making sure these people are okay, and the emergency medical folks out there as well, and EMA. So Pine Mountain, we do have one report so far of a large tree on a home.
No,
Fortson area, excuse me, Fortson, which is already past that area, and so those are the areas we're looking at. Now, right around northwest of Hamilton, there's still circulation. That's why this tornado warning comes on. The Waverly Hall circulation has amounted to just nothing but wind. So if you're in Waverly Hall, I'm giving you a broad analysis, all Waverly Hall, it's not a tornado. Although you're under a warning, it's going to expire, but we're seeing no tornado. That's good news. Just some strong winds, and still it has enough energy to maybe topple a tree down or two. Northwest of Hamilton, still a little rotation in that, and even a little rotation south of Pine Mountain, downtown Pine Mountain, but it's more outflow winds, but it's still strong winds with that. I could see, and you see that? And that's kind of the new kind of Tornado Valley. We won't give anything away, Nicole. Nicole Phillips is, a Kansas girl, and she's shaking her head like, "Why me?"
But if you do live in Pine Mountain, especially right off of 27, please be in your safe spots, especially right around Callaway Gardens. Just go to
That's right. You're a Sooner. You're an Oklahoma Sooner. You know better. And Cody, the little Mississippi State guy here too as well. So again, and it's just to ease some minds. Not adding humor to anything like this with the tree down in Fortune, but again, this is something that we got to continue to watch as it continues to go through our Talbot County residents now. So if you're in Waverly Hall, there's some strong winds. And I want to say this is still, the winds with this is probably, I don't know how many feet would you say above the surface, Cody? This is probably marking on that maybe a couple thousand feet. They're probably looking, I would say. So how much does this mixes to the surface? Maybe 30 to 40 gusts in here, and that's enough to snap tree limbs. Trust me, every time you get any winds, you saw what happened the Sunday before Christmas in this area. It was northeast strong winds, which was like a tropical system in the Gulf, and those winds were whipping so hard, it knocked a lot of small trees down. It doesn't take much. So what we're seeing now on storm rotation, fancy term radial velocity, as it moves away from and towards radar, away in this particular radar, is this Peachtree City radar, so it's moving towards.
Yes, it is.
So we're seeing
watching two circulations coming out of Barbour County now.
Okay, now we're going to go down to Barbour. As I was telling you, we didn't leave you out. I said we'll be down there when we start seeing the southern end into Barbour County. Okay, Eufaula, folks. Okay, it's very weak. This is down, if you're in the Baker Hill, between Baker Hill and Eufaula, south and east. If you're in Clayton, you're good. This is the Chuck Williams hometown here, but we're looking at Eufaula, Baker Hill area. This area here, there's a little
now
bit
we're
of
starting to get power outages in Columbus.
Okay, now we're seeing Columbus.
Mainly on the north side, double churches.
Makes sense.
Near Maple Ridge and Lloyd Road.
Okay, that makes sense. And those are going to be trees on power lines. I'm going to bet you about $100 on that one. Now, and that's why it's very populated area, so 1,200 customers in North Columbus without power. So if you have battery operated, boy, that's getting a little bit of tightening there. We need to watch that for sure. This one looks probably the most impressive I've seen all day today. And if you're in Stewart County, let's start being on the lookout. If you're in South 165 in Russell County, areas around the paper plant, Cottonton, Alabama. I'm not showing it to here, but my Cottonton residents, off of 165, 431, I would seek shelter immediately. This is probably the best tightening I've seen. It's very small, but let's just be prepared. Not a confirmed tornado, but obviously this severe thunderstorm warning, I'm sure this is possible. This may turn into a tornado warning. 4,000 without power, and this is going to go up. I'm going to tell you right now, 4,000 without power in Muskogee County right now, North Columbus area, especially in this part. without power right now, and that's why battery-operated equipment is essential. And you could keep us on Q107.3 simulcasting FM. You can also keep us right here on our app and on your mobile devices, WRBL.com, constant streaming and simulcasting if power goes out on the TV.
Hey, Bob. National Weather Service in Birmingham has canceled the tornado watch for Bullock, Chambers, Macon, Pike, and Randolph counties in Alabama.
Okay, so Barbour's still included,
yes,
right? So then that makes sense.
And so Lee and Russell as well.
Okay, so that's great news. For the backside of the storm, if you just heard, is good. You guys in East Central Alabama, the only part of East Central Alabama in our viewing area now you need to be most concerned is right here in Barbour. So let's get back to it and show you in relationship to Eufaula. We'll probably go, there's just not a lot of population here in this portion of Barbour County going into Russell. This is the southwest bend of Russell County around the river, but let's just kind of, it's coming right in the county area now. So if you kind of zoom in on that, Cody, and it's going to be coming into, it's going to miss Cottonton likely, but I just want to get some of these neighborhoods here. The Glenville, they call it Glenville Highway because Glenville, we got several residents in there. I know they actually contact me occasionally. If you're in Glenville, I would say right along your highway that's almost parallel to Highway 431, US 431, seek shelter immediately now, just to be prepared. This is not a confirmed tornado, but there's some wind potentially with some good damage. You have a lot of trees around you guys around there. I know you do. This is what we've been seeing, the history of this. Trees are is also a hazard. And believe it or not, one of the most #1 injuries from thunderstorms are trees coming down on homes and on trailers. So that's a hazard for sure. So we continue to watch that. So Glenville residents, please keep that in mind. We're going to keep you, engaged here until it passes. Now, Rutherford Road area and these areas, you're clear. You're clear. Hawkinsville, you're okay. All those counties, as Nicole just told us, have expired in East Central Alabama, except Barbour County and Russell. I think there was Russell still in that. I think should be out.
I believe Russell is still in the tornado watch.
Yeah, it should be expiring, I would think, very shortly. But if Russell County, if we're not talking, and here's the thing too, I'm getting messages. If you're not hearing us talk about you, then we're okay. It's okay to give us a heads up if you heard something, but don't worry. If you don't hear your name called out, your city, your county, neighborhood, it's because you don't have anything major to be concerned about. But the entire area that's seeing the wind, everybody watching right now, there's a potential of this wind knocking down some weak trees. That's what we're saying, especially in Barbour County. And what we're seeing now along this whole area, now they're tightening a little spin. You had those little tiny, which is now fizzling outside of Clayton, is still a long line of potential damaging wind. The only rotation we're seeing right now is right along where we're coming into Russell County now, extreme southwest Russell County, not on the western side, not south of Hartsboro, but where I call it the Great Bend area, is the panhandle in a sense, is coming up into areas here, which eventually, if it continues on that trajectory path, would take it into areas like Seal, all the way back into north of just clipping Stewart County and likely going into the Fort Benning area if it continues on that track. Just wind. And again, this is a big long wind event with this. That's what we're seeing at this point. So we're 4,000 last reported without power. 4,500, it's up another 500 with power. I would even suspect it'll go higher just because seeing this lately, because what it is, it's a safety measure. There must be, I'll bet you there's several trees down and several portions of lines, and that's Georgia Power. And when that all comes down here right along Interstate 185, I could take you live there right now. I'll take you live on 185 where you could see what's going on just a little bit. Okay, now there's obviously the street lights are on 185 north on Buena Vista Drive here, South Columbus, but we're going to take you north. So our live units is heading north. We got 2 people driving, so I just want people to know for the safety of our drivers, this is not somebody driving doing this. This is, we have one person shooting while somebody's driving. But as it continues to go north on 185, we're going to take you up in that area. And St. Mary's right now we just passed. And again, this area here has power, and we have not sustained any significant wind damage reported. But North Columbus is obviously where we saw that severe thunderstorm warning, where we saw that circulation going into Harris County, has seen a lot of trees down. Now, we haven't had any reports in Harris County, just Muskogee right now. And I wouldn't be surprised as Harris County's got diverse power. So I'm wondering if Diverse Power is losing any power too out of Troup County where they're based out of. So Diverse Power, we'll be checking with Diverse Power too as well to make sure in those rural areas around Harris and Troup counties as well for any power outages. So Georgia Power residents, even down in southern Harris County so far, but it's been all north Muskogee and these areas around the Biggers Road, Smiths area, all that, losing more than 4,500 customers without power. And you could see the cluster of lightning just concentrated there, and the cluster in western Barbour County. If you're in Clay County in Fort Gaines now, our southern viewers now, we're never leaving anybody out here because we want you to just kind of stand guard and wait in Cuthbert and Randolph County, Benevolent, Shellman, Webster County, and Weston. We're looking at these areas here, and we're looking at areas around Sly and Sumter. Stay tuned because you guys are going to have a lot of wind and heavy wind gusts too coming up within the next 40 minutes, okay? Abbeville, these areas here. We're up to what again was that again, Connor? I'm sorry. I have people that do talk in my ear just so people at home want to know so we can get some direction. You said it was more than 4,500? Now 49. That's what I was telling you. You're going to see more. This will go higher. I'm just telling you this will go higher. It's just the way it works. So when any kind of tree or any limb hits part of a grid or a power line, it shuts down. Boom. And who's ever in between point A to point B, you have no power. It's a safety measure, but they do a great job at detecting what's up, and they'll get you guys restored quickly. Awesome job. I've been in the headquarters section in downtown Atlanta. It's remarkable what the power companies do, especially Southern Company. They do a great job. I'll give them a shout out. Diverse does, and so does Tallapoosa, for as small as they are. So, okay, we got, I'm not going to say that's, that ain't no debris. That's a storm rotation. Okay, I don't want to jump the gun there. I got to be careful what I'm saying on air, but I'm just looking at some stuff, talking out loud. Richards Crossroads. It's bowing out, and a lot of winds coming towards Scottsboro Crossroads area and Baker Hill, and as we get into Barbour County here. And anybody here around County Road 53, it's out of your area, up the State Route 30 westward, you guys are clear. But when you get around County Road 79 south, the Cotton Hill, Osco, and Therese, these areas around US 431 south, these are the areas that could still see some strong wind gusts. Eventually, getting into the Stewart County area, if you're in Georgetown too, and Quitman, Clay, and Randolph counties too, we're going to keep an eye out for you guys as well there in our Georgia side for for some strong.
We have
winds.
a new severe thunderstorm warning. It does include parts of Stewart, Chattahoochee. It's just an continuation on that southern extent from that line. Right here from Chattahoochee, Buena Vista included, even down across Stewart County, Lumpkin, areas of just north of really Providence State Park, and then all the way back up into areas of Fort Benning across Chattahoochee County as well. So mainly we're just talking about 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hail is about really non-existent in these storms. And then they do tag it as a possible tornado. We do still have that threat as this line continues to push through. We've just seen little areas of rotation that spin up and then they quickly diminish. So just keep an eye on that, as we could maybe have one or two tornado warnings as this line continues to push in, especially on the southern extent on the
Okay, we did just get a report of some power outages up in LaGrange. We still don't have confirmation of how many. That's diverse power, but diverse power is working on those. So again, if we look at those storms that did move through earlier, Troup County, very strong wind gust with those storms that moved through in excess of about 60 miles per hour. That's what we were seeing on radar. And again, with this storm system moving at 60 miles per hour too, anytime you get a lot of that energy just kind of pushing out, we can get some strong winds, and we can also get those damaging winds with that as well. So that's something that we are watching very closely as these line of storms move on through. Also, heavy rainfall as well, possible too. Anytime we have these shades of red and oranges together, that's a good indication of some very heavy rainfall. So there may be some areas also of localized flooding in and around the Columbus area, maybe those typical areas that flood, and then also too up towards Manchester, we're seeing that heavy rain as well. Do you have some?
Connor, can you repeat what you said about the all right, the Marvin Parkway at Railroad Bridge is closed. impassable at this time, and that's according to Opelika Police. So Marvin Parkway near Railroad Bridge.
I wonder if that's probably trees. I'm assuming. Does anybody know?
Did
trees.
Did they say trees
or is that
or
water?
is that
Because when I hear bridge, I start. Okay. Yeah, you know, first thing I thought too, Nicole and I were looking at, I wonder if that's rising water. And
we have a tornado warning for Eufaula.
Okay, that's where we want to get down to that, then that's what we're looking at. So Barbour County, as we said, we're looking at that same rotation we're looking at earlier. It's now back to that. And again, is this, you know, Doppler indicated likely, but we have to keep an eye on it. So where are we looking? Yeah, right around Baker Hill area. It looks like two little areas of circulation. Again, this is from the low spinning. You got two little independent areas. Cody's got the first one marked northwest of Baker Hill. Not sure if that's more anomalous, but I would say it looks like one's kind of outflowing from the other and causing some circulation. But that's really the most legitimate one where we got highlighted. This is east of County Road 79 South, and you heard me say that earlier, that watch County Road 79 South, and this is why it already passed you. But this is going to run parallel. It looks like it's going to run parallel right along Alabama State Route 131. Alabama State Route 131. That is along and north of Baker Hill in Barbour County. Seek shelter now for a potential tornado. If you're in the Therese neighborhood, do the same. If you're in Eufaula, you should start thinking about where do I go. In fact, if you're in Eufaula, I would just go ahead and get in that safe spot right now. This is moving fast. In fact, let me get out of the way. We'll show you that latest time here. Eufaula about 50 minutes after this hour, so it's almost 40, about 11 minutes out. In 11 minutes is your heads up. If you are in Eufaula, get in that center part, most safe spot of your home and dwelling. And here's the other thing, if you're in a second story, should not be there. It should be in the most lowest level, most interior section of your home. So again, so that's what we're looking at. There's a little weak rotation on Baker Hill, but again, that's some winds that are outflowing. So again, this is a lot of spinning action, you know, high up in the atmosphere, you know, probably about, and that last scan just wasn't favorable for that, but these are Doppler indicated. And we haven't had confirmed tornadoes, but there's definitely wind with the line, and that's why we're seeing numerous reports of trees and power outages by way of this, and that's very atypical. So, Eufaula, here we go. We're still watching circulation between Cotton Hill and Baker Hill. If you're in Cotton Hill, Baker Hill, you're okay. There's no possible tornado, but it's between you. And we're going to get right on that road, Cody. If we can zoom in street level, we'll take it right where Osco and right where Alabama State 30 meets 431. Let's get right in those neighborhoods as tight as we can. Let's keep going. We'll get those roads for you and tell you guys what to do. Okay, so if you're a 5 mile road, you should be in your safe spot now. If you're an old Clayton road, you should be in your safe spot right now in Barbour County. Eufaula, here's downtown Eufaula right here to the southwest Eufaula. If you're in the Edgewood Drive area southward, get in your safe spot. Let's see what where 5 mile road comes into Alabama 30 and 431. What's this neighborhood right here, Cody? We'll get some street level action there too. We want these people. This is a lot of new developments here, and there's still more. The Walding Drive area, also the Russell Williams Road area should be in your safe spot. Old Dale Road should be in your safe spot right now, and with the potential in the Pump Station Road area, that's in downtown, not really downtown, but just southwest of downtown, in the historic district of Eufaula. So we want everybody in Barbour County out just to take a safe spot. This is not confirmed, but there's been a lot of trees going down with this entire line, and that's really what this whole story has been, is enough wind event to quickly knock a lot of weak trees down, and that's the hazard we're looking at. We had one report tree in Fortson, and that was on a house. So that's the only house one we report in our news reviewing area. Otherwise, we got impassable bridges right now in the Marvin area. I think it was Marvin, did we say? Marvin Parkway, and that's because a lot of trees, I'm sure, or could it be from flooding too? Because saturated grounds and heavy rain in a short area upstream will really rise quickly with these creeks that are filling into these bigger creeks and streams, and that's another hazard as well. The State Docks Road area, once you get into the Lake Eufaula area, should also, some of those nice homes that are there and stuff, if you could get in a safe spot, just hypothetically if this becomes a tornado, but you have to prepare right now because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of winds with this and potential of a little tornado developing from it. Little, strong, or whatever, the winds are obviously the true story. What we know for sure, 100%, this is a wind event. And you can see constant bowing out. When you see those, it looks like an appendage. Whenever you see this bowing out effect in Barbour County and around the Eufaula area, This is what we call a lot of wind and very heavy rain. Reflectivity is red. This whole area is just torrential rain at a rain rate that we showed you from 2 to 3 inches an hour. And so that being said, with the wind coupled with that, that's significant. Let's take a look at that too. As we look at downtown Eufaula, we had almost 2 inches of rain in an hour here, inch and almost a half farther southwest, almost 2 inches up around the Fox Ridge Road westward. And think of that, that's already been on the ground, and all the weeks leading up to this, then you add the wind on top of it, that's why the trees go down. St. Francis Road in Barbour County, around the Hoboken area on US 431, north of Eufaula, and south of that, still seeing us on Edgewood Drive. I always use that as a point of reference for our relatives there and friends looking at north and south for some very strong winds now. There's no evidence of a tornado, albeit you have a tornado warning. You may hear the sirens. This is looking like there's still enough wind in circulation that we've been detecting on radar. Each scan, it kind of disappears and then it kind of evolves again. And understand this will likely continue in the Georgia side of things. And there it is right here. It's elongated and wide, so that means as it's circulating, it's ready to start leveling out and becoming more linear. That means it's moving forward with a straight line. Still could do widespread damage with trees with that. And that's what we watch it for in Barbour County. So that's the extent of that part.
Ooh,
the Marion Drive
we have a
area.
confirmed tornado now.
Okay, it's confirmed. So that's all we need. So let's go.
Yep.
Yep, and there's your debris signature right here. Okay, so it is a tornado with debris, and it's picking it up. That is an area with a lot of trees. So I'm going to say a lot of trees here. So Cody, what we need to do, like right now, this neighborhood right here, just west of State Docks Road, let's zoom in on their neighborhood right now because that's where it's headed. And we're going to give everybody here, okay, this is the Cheney-Hatchie Drive area. If you're in Cheney-Hatchie Drive neighborhood, where it comes all the way into Old Abbeville Road, seek shelter immediately. This is a confirmed tornado with debris. If you're in the Stapleton Drive area and the rest of this neighborhood through here, Walding Drive, Lindsay Lane, these neighborhoods here in Barbour County, Old Abbeville Road that extends into neighborhoods here, as far south as Oaks Landing Drive, seek shelter right now. Now this is confirmed, and what we're looking at is you need to be in your safe spot because there's some debris that's showing up on the radar. And the debris, likely some trees or anything, and that's the big hazard when you have debris that's whipping around here. So we're going to go ahead and storm track that as well once we come back up here. So again, we got to watch for each scan. So it's right here, the tornado, potential tornado on the ground, and I'm going to suspect it's going to keep going in and out of the cloud. You get like funnel cloud, tornado, funnel cloud, tornado. So we got to stay on it regardless because you can't sit there and outsmart this. But you look from TV McCoo Boulevard south to Cypress Cove Drive, these areas here, right around the lakes, seek shelter immediately. If you're in a Pebble Beach Drive area, you're okay around Therese. You guys are fine. It's too south, but north of that, where our track continues, if you're in downtown Eufaula, as we told you minutes ago, 5 minutes away with a confirmed tornado and likely going to see some debris still flying in the atmosphere, which is dangerous, so do not be outside for this whatsoever because there'll be a lot of limbs moving around quickly, even as an EF1 or 2, and no one could predict that anyway. Unfortunately, there it is. Well, we saw it for a second there, but it's hard. Sometimes you lose it on each scan because if there was debris and it all fell down, if it doesn't hit more debris. So I would suspect if it continues as a tornado, minimal debris will see more debris. And it's complicated to show at home. It's just, but we watch exactly where the rotation is and pinpoint and zoom in on that exact circulation so we know. So these neighborhoods right here again, let's get like from this part, yeah, right up there. Let's just stay in the neighborhood continually. And the reason why we have to pull out here for folks at home because we got to get perspective where it's at. But if you're in Old Abbeville Road, Oaks Landing Drive northward, remember Oaks Landing Drive, it's just to the west of you, seek shelter immediately. Russell Williams Road, southward, all the neighborhoods there. If you don't know where that is, let's give you some perspective. On 431 southwest, this is all southwest of downtown Eufaula, where Overlook Drive is, these areas here, we need to get it.
They've gone back to radar indicated.
Yeah, now it's back to radar indicated as we suspect. So what I said, about a few minutes ago, what's happening is with these rotation, they're weak. Again, this is not like what we had the EF2 back in March 3rd down here. But what we see is we see a funnel cloud form, and you won't see it because it's just too much rain out there. It lifts back into clouds and it comes down and it has just enough wind to pick up and it brings some debris up and it falls down and it goes again. So we're going to continue to watch that. And it's been pretty active, that part of the system, and we'll continue it into Georgia because chances are it's going to continue to do this. It's the same line. So this whole line is like just a driving engine. The time of day, we had all afternoon. They have some heating, and it'll keep going in, okay? So if you are in the southern Eufaula area, State Docks Road, these areas here, you got to seek shelter immediately. So everybody in downtown Eufaula right now, let's get into southwest downtown right now. These neighborhoods here, if you're West Boundary Street, Inlet Road, those neighborhoods, everybody north of that, Biscayne Drive, all should be in your safe shelter. Let's go a little bit north and east of here as we drive that from Dale Road 2. These areas here, you've got to be in your safe spot immediately. Right where South Forsyth Street is, Forsyth Street to School Street, right in downtown Eufaula, Holloway Drive, all these neighborhoods, a historic area, East Washington Street, should be in your safe spot. There's a lot of trees here, and again, Doppler indicated at this point there is no tornado. There was a tornado on the ground briefly, and it lifted right back up, but there's still the potential on East Broad Street to see some wind damage with this, and right along areas around Randolph Avenue northward, and it's going to continue right through Barbour County and likely go into Stewart County very shortly. So Stewart County residents, stay tuned. If you're Pump Station Road, west part of Barbour County, you're okay. We're looking at areas around TV McCoo Boulevard. This is the south part of it. Seek shelter, and I told you about North Randolph Avenue. It's right on top of you. St. Francis Road, it's pretty much right on top of you, is a Doppler indicated tornado, and it's circulating pretty vigorously here and moving quickly until it gets into Watson's Lane into the Georgia side. We're getting into Georgetown area, those areas around Omaha. Please seek shelter immediately. And Cody's acknowledging that. He saw where everybody, it's funny how we all think together. Saying, I love this as far as the team. We got a great team here, guys. So we watch this on Watson Lane too as well. So that's critical. So if you're in a Watson Lane area, we get over on the Georgia side, the state line over across the lake. Make sure you keep that in mind. If you're in Vining Branch Road, there's a few homes are here, Watson Road. Seek shelter because there's still a chance in the Georgia side here. Once we get on a State Georgia 39 too, this is all west of you, we get into Stewart County. Please seek shelter right now just for some strong damaging winds. And if there are a lot of trees in this area that will topple over easily from the history of this unwinding drive. We haven't had any reports exactly in Barbour County yet, but do you have something?
No, but they do say that the radar confirmed tornado in Barbour County appears to have lifted. But it is moving into Georgia at this moment, into
Quitman County.
Thank you.
Quitman,
in the city of Georgetown, which is right across the bridge from Eufaula.
Okay, so now we're Quitman and Stewart, watch out. But Quitman County, the Georgetown area, you guys, there's quite a bit of folks in there in the neighborhoods here in Georgetown. If we go to Georgetown now, because we're getting past that. So I just want to emphasize, if you're in Eufaula now, this is how fast it's moving. You're okay. If you're in Eufaula, you're okay right now. We're just seeing it just to the east of Dr. TV McCoo Boulevard South, and everyone knows where that is. It's a local place right to there, south of Lake Drive, and not far from
I would put it
Vulcan.
in downtown Georgetown.
I would right now. So if you're a Georgetown resident, it's already on top of you. These scans we got to keep up because they're moving like a minute here. Depot Road, this is areas around Florence Street and areas around Beale Street, High Street, Mackenzie Road, Harrison Street. Right along, this is U.S. Highway 82 through downtown Georgetown. A lot of population here, and there's still some strong gusts. So in Georgetown, just take your safe spot as we speak right now if you're in Georgetown. We'll be watching once we get to Highway 27, US 27 in a minute, and we'll continue to watch it. So if you're in the downtown Georgetown area, the worst is coming through right now. If that's the worst, and if you're saying, Bob, it's not much anything, then that's that. So it's already moving right across you right now. It's already north and east of US 82 in Quitman County, and there we go at this point.
Very broad.
Super broad rotation. When you hear us use the word broad, it's elongated, it's round, it's not. It doesn't have a nice concentric circle, and that's what we look for those kind of strong, strengthening mesoscale systems, which means you got a lot of rotation in them and typically damaging wind and tornadoes. But we're not seeing that. So it continues to kind of lift back off to the north and to the east. So the line now is what we're watching. And again, everywhere from Georgia State Route 39, okay, Georgia State 39, and where it comes out and it intersects outside of Quitman County, and we'll take that all the way through Stewart counties, ports north, And so I think it's safe to say that Georgetown residents right now are okay. Okay, so you guys are going to be okay right now. Eufaula, you're okay, even though you're under the tornado warning still in, you guys are fine. It's all east of downtown Eufaula right now, the area of concern, if you will. So 285 we'll watch there too. Georgia State Route 285 is another one we watch, and just to the east of that. From Coffington to Sanford, I'm going broad now, not street level, because there's no circulation of any neighborhood specifically. Just understand, if you can watch us here from point of reference, from Georgia State 39, from Coffington all the way south, eastward, Sanford, in areas around Georgia. This is not Phoenix City, Sanford Road, or anything like that, not to be confused. We're in Georgia now. We're looking at areas around Clay County, Henry, Randolph, and Early. So in our viewing area, especially Randolph County too, the Shellman area, probably more north of the county, not so much Cuthbert, which is more south and central. You see Benevolence there. It's, well, you guys are too far south where Martha Berry Highway or 27, State Route 27 is located. So as it continues to lift north and east here, we're watching at Beatrice, and you see those times that are part of your screen there. I probably interrupted it just a little bit. Hopefully folks at home were able to watch it for a second, I think. Broad circulation is Cody and Nicole are talking about. Here's 27 and 39. It's State Route 39, Georgia, and obviously 27 where it kind of comes in. That area has probably some strong winds in these neighborhoods. So where County Road 3 is, 53, I think it's 53, I can't remember. It's right along the arrow of axis. If you could push it down, I think it's 50, it's 3. It's
County Road 3.
It's 3. Okay, it's going down to this area here. Grady Road here, it continues to go down this way, and that's what we're looking at. If you are in Waverly Hall, you guys are probably doing okay. Let me just take this real quick live. Do we have any damage at all? I just wanted to see. Do you have any damage? Just, you're live on air. Just please tell me. Any damage or not?
No, it's
okay.
Just really dark.
Okay, you guys are clear. I'm going to let you go, honey, but thanks for the update. That's great. Okay? Okay, so right now, ears around Waverly Hall, it's clear now. There's some Harris County residents concerned about that. So we're still seeing some heavy rain, and Nicole is raising her hand like she's in school.
I do want to give an update. Weather Service has canceled the tornado watch for Lee County, Alabama.
Good.
So if you are in Lee County, you are clear. So you're just dealing with the heavy rain, the moderate to heavy rainfall right now. So
Nicole, what parts of East Central Alabama? I think pretty much East Central Alabama we could say free and clear except for thunderstorms and rain.
Yeah, with the exception of obviously Barbour and Russell, those are the only two until 8 p.m. But I do expect as this line moves east, those will start to drop as well. Okay, good. Okay, so Nicole Phillips is updating us on those areas around, she was saying Russell and Barbour counties, and these areas here will expire once that heavy shower and thunderstorm activity continues through Stewart County, Clay County, the Georgetown area looking good. You can still see that kind of strange looking polygon that should have expired already, because honestly the tornado warning there's nothing there. So it has already moved on into Georgia. So if you're in Barbour County, all clear, and a little weak rotation a little bit north, but nothing more than that. And you can just see this is broad rotation, and we'll watch for some winds. Now if you're in Lumpkin, Georgia, again to the south of that, in Benevolence, you may see some strong gusty winds along State Route 1. And they expired the tornado warning for Barbour County. Good, right on cue. There you go. Perfect. So yeah, one step ahead. We'll just try to keep ahead of these guys. So that's good. So you're at ease, as Nicole told you. Let's widen the whole storm system out for a second here, Cody, since there's nothing of immediate life-threatening danger in that sense. But you could see, and we're using a type of background just so you could kind of see where it's literally clear from rain. Tuscaloosa finally seeing this. Just a recap, areas around Clayton, Alabama, we had some issues earlier. There's a thunderstorm right across Carrollton. I'm sorry, what did I just say? Carrollton, my bad. Carrollton, and we got a lot of lightning now in Columbus. The News 3 station, we're on a generator now. This is a backup. We have a tower, so this just in case that tower takes a hit, we could keep broadcasting. But right now there's a lot of lightning in uptown Columbus. That's a populated area, so the concern now is a lot of lightning threat. This is a tremendous amount of lightning in 15 minutes of data. I'll tell you what, Cody, let's just take the size down on the lightning enough that we can kind of discern. Make it 5 minutes, and let's just get an idea what 5 minutes has showed us, because this is the next, to me, the thunderstorm activity is tremendous, and very heavy rain, as these guys have been talking about, and what we worry about. So
All of these areas under the severe thunderstorm warning across west central Georgia counties continue. So Meriwether, Troop, south of Harris and Muskogee seeing the heaviest rain, most of Muskogee County being inundated with rain. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to assume these are mostly positive strikes. You saw one south of Stewart County in Omaha. Clay County beginning to be heavy rain. Thunderstorm is diminishing here in Barbour County. Fort Gaines, you haven't seen much of anything just yet. So areas around Quitman County, it's been pretty null and void, but you are going to be seeing heavy rain and some strong winds shortly. And that will continue to march eastward in Randolph, as we're showing. Sumter County, we're still going to bring you some showers and storms. They're headed your way with some strong gusty winds. You've just seen some light to moderate rain right now. You haven't seen much of anything. So all these central Alabama counties are clear, and that's a good sign. Cody.
We have a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay.
Chattahoochee, Marion, Stewart, Webster, 645. They do tag it as possible tornado and 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay, let's go to that then. Let's go to that right now. So it looks like kind of the same thing. I'm wondering if I'm looking at that appendage just south of there too. It looks like that was Casita.
Yeah. We just have.
Okay, so okay, we'll get right about here. There we go. Stewart County to the west. Okay, so we're going to continue to see this probably somewhere in here in this neighborhood here. So Lumpkin, we need to get in that, and now we'll go into velocity. Maybe see a little bit here rotating right there.
Yeah, some of that leftover rotation from the
basically that's what
Barbour
it is.
County storm.
Yeah. So when we say it's tagged, it means the Weather Service too is highly interested in that. We just keep it, watching this closely for residents, and likely if it does get any good couplet here or less than or some good circulation, it'll indicate a tornado warning. So Lumpkin, you should be tuned in. You should be right now like totally focused and consider like a safe spot in all these neighborhoods right now within the next 15 minutes. So let's take it from that generic circulation, kind of the straight line circulation here. It doesn't really look much more
Cone
than it.
or squall?
Squall, yeah. I would take it cone, because it's going to take it cone, thanks. And then we'll take it from here up to Lumpkin. And I'll keep it more like if you're in Sanford, Bishop, and in these areas here, once we're down in Stewart County, and Chatco too. Chattahoochee still seeing that heavy wind. And Marion, that would be Buena Vista too. Stewart, Webster, Western Georgia, and areas around Beatrice and Lumpkin. You can see the things here. Go ahead, Nicole.
Bob, now that we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, can we just kind of do a reset of all the warnings
Sure.
that we have? And we did have a question about Harris County. No warning in effect for Harris County right now. If we could just zoom out what Cody has here. The only severe thunderstorm warning that we do have, Chattahoochee, Marion, Stewart, Webster County until 6:45 Eastern time. And then I do believe there's one just to the south, correct? Yes. And then we have Clay, Early, Henry, and Randolph counties until 7:15 Eastern time. So again, if you are in Lee County, you are okay. Harris County, you are okay. We do not have any thunderstorm warnings for that area. The main line of this storm has moved off towards the east. So what you are dealing with right now is just some heavy rainfall. So I know that folks still had some questions about that. So I wanted to just kind of do a reset there since we did get a new thunderstorm warning at who's still under warning and who is not. So.
And that lightning, that hazard too, we had some roads that were impassable around Marvin Highway in Alabama, Lee County, and these areas here that are certainly seeing some of those bridges, the bridge that's over in that area, and numerous reports of trees down. I'm not sure what the latest is on power outages, Okay, we're going to be live in a bit. We're live right now. Let's take you, I'm going to show you what these winds are doing. Easy Street and Double Churches, we're going to go live right now and show you what's going on. There's a tree on a car right now. You can see Columbus Police Department on the scene, and with Columbus Police Department on the scene, you could see the tree on a car. Now, Nicole, you were concerned about this. You said this earlier about you're driving in this. And that's why we don't drive in this.
Exactly. You know, because one thing to note that the ground has been so saturated. We've had so much rain. And this road is blocked. I do want to point that out, but we've had so much rain over the last few weeks, and so we're just adding more rain, and now we're also adding in the wind as a component to this. So this is one of the reasons why we've got some damage here. So we've got a car on a road, and this was Easy Street.
I think
Easy Street and Double Churches.
Easy Street and Double Churches. So please, if you have to be out, just wait it out until this rain and this wind is done, because we definitely want you to be safe. And so this is one of the reasons why we have been saying just hold off a little bit.
That's right. And Nicole, that's right. And you could see the blue flashing lights and the hazard lights. Obviously, that must be the vehicle we're looking at, and that is where the tree has toppled on top of the vehicle. Hope everybody's okay and everyone's safe. Don't know if that car, I'm assuming that car was actually mobile. We don't know the full details. I'm not going to speculate and again, judge anybody. But again, this is why these hazards and why we're doing this, because this is the hazard witness. This is a broad scale event. I said this morning in our afternoon briefing, that everybody in our viewing area will be impacted in some way, shape, or form with wind. And obviously, no one could predict where a tree will go down, but Nicole just stated, obviously, frankly, the heavy rain we've had for so much time here, root systems cannot support it. And any wind, I mean, you can have winds of 30 to 35 sustained, and the way these are excelling and moving forward so fast is enough to topple trees, and that is a big hazard. There are many people that have been seriously injured, and sometimes you hear a loss of life, too. It looks like they shut the car, maybe powered it down here. We'll just see how that is. So there it is again. So Columbus Police Department have it blocked off on, if you have to be out, and somebody goes, I got to take Double Churches, and Double Churches and Easy Street. You don't want to head out there, and that would be safe to say that's between Veterans Parkway and Whitesville Road. So that's what we're talking about. So we're Whitesville Road and Veterans Parkway is in between. There is Easy Street and Double Churches. That's what we're looking at, where a tree has toppled on top of a car, and we don't know any other information more than that. But Columbus Police Department on the scene, and I'm hopefully remaining that this is a situation where nobody was injured in this situation here, and that's what the hazard